Well, good afternoon. I want to thank you for coming out to this press conference today. My name is Anthony Prince. As you know or may not know, I'm an attorney representing a number of residents here in Salinas on a number of legal matters. And today I'm out here to support the struggle of our homeless sisters and brothers and the community at large with regard to this ordinance. We feel this ordinance is wrong. This proposed ordinance will essentially aim at destroying an entire community. That community is already a relatively safer place for homeless individuals than they will be once that encampment is dispersed and people face the dangers out there with the winter approaching, with El Nino approaching. I am an attorney. I'm a housing rights attorney, amongst other things. So I have researched this proposed ordinance, and I've drafted a little paper, and it's entitled Unconstitutional on its Face, which means that if you look at the ordinance and you study its contents, you'll see that it directly contradicts the premises of the United States Constitution and some specific cases. In particular, a couple of things. First off, the ordinance makes an illegal distinction between what they call bulk items and personal property. There is no such distinction under the law. Personal property is personal property, whether it's a Cadillac Escalade or whether it's a shopping cart. And you cannot be deprived of your personal property under the law without due process. So that's the first thing. Mr. Callahan, city attorney, has written in his report that a bulk item is not to be considered personal property. That is not the law. Secondly, there is no due process. The ordinance calls for providing individuals with 24 hours notice before their possessions will be confiscated and they'll be deprived of their personal possessions. But notice is not enough under the law. Due process demands an opportunity to be heard. Specifically, the law states that before the government can deprive someone of their property, they have to give them an opportunity to appear before some kind of neutral body and argue their case before the property is taken away. I have gone through this ordinance with a fine-tooth comb, and there is absolutely no provision for the establishment of a body that would give a person threatened with the loss of their property a right to argue their case before that property was seized. So just on those things alone, excluding so-called bulk items from personal property and denying people an opportunity to have a hearing, to be able to be heard, makes this ordinance unconstitutional on its face. So I'm going to stop there. There's other very serious legal issues, and maybe we'll take them up if you members of the media have some questions. There's a lot more that's wrong with this ordinance, but I'm telling you that if this ordinance was subjected to a court of competent jurisdiction for review, I believe they would find this unconstitutional, throw it out. And that's what we intend to do if the City Council does pass this illegal ordinance. So with that, I'm going to introduce our next speaker, and we're all going to try to keep it short here so that we can have questions and then get into the City Council meeting. We don't want to be late for that. So first off, I'm going to introduce Van Gresham. Van is, he'll introduce himself. He's one of the leaders in the homeless community over by Chinatown, and he's going to have a few words. Van?
Yeah, my name's Van Gresham. I represent the homeless population in the Chinatown area. I've been in the area for about 4 years trying to create jobs and industry for the homeless down there. I can tell you the conditions are not good. I can tell you that sometimes there are property in the street, personal property that people are clutching to and hanging on to provide a little bit of personal comfort. I think to brutally go in there and just take a man's property and under those conditions under this ordinance is totally unwarranted and unnecessary. I think the people of the street will voluntarily manage their own things if you just give them a venue and a way to do it. And I believe that all concerned would be better served to work with the problem rather than to have a blunt force, drastic way to take care of things. Taking somebody's personal property is not going to solve the homeless issue. It's not going to create a safety net for anybody, and it's only going to cause more harm and danger and threaten their well-being and their existence. I can tell you also that I'm a member of the Downtown Community Board. The Downtown Community Board is, I've served on that for quite a number of years. And I can tell you that the last meeting we had, we asked for a show of hands to see if that Downtown Community Board could show a vote of confidence, a vote of solidarity to oppose this measure, and it was enacted. It was opposed, and we recommend that it be tabled until some other way, less severe, can be extracted. Any other questions?
Why don't we take a quick break, and I'll tell you why. We need to hear from Jose Castaneda, but as you can see, we have a delegation coming up from Chinatown homeless camp. I'll let you cover that. Let the members of the media cover that right now.
Right, yeah. Let me just get a couple shots of that.
And then once they're here, we'll regroup.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Registered Salinas voters. Registered Salinas voters. When is the last day? Try to get
Salinas knows there's not enough shelters for the homeless. All we have is our tenants. Why should you be able to make that decision how we live? There's not enough shelter for everyone. Where are we to go? Tell us where to go. We'll be there. Nobody said when they were little, when I grow up, I want to be homeless. Nobody said, tomorrow I think I'm going to be homeless. Nobody wants to be homeless.
y'all got money to houses, well, where's the house at?
Help the homeless for housing. Homeless is not a crime.
You can turn that way.
Am I going to jump your way because I was going to get some sound? All right, thanks.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, 'cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, 'cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, 'cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, 'cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, 'cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, 'cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Woo! Lead me home! 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 Lead me home!
Homeless are human too. Homeless is not a crime.
That's my pen. Well, it was my pen.
Yeah, Pam,
That's right, Miss Rita.
Why don't you use that to talk?
So you should, okay. Hi there. Okay, so I'll get you really quick. If you could give me your first and last name and your position with the,
Turn that off.
My name's Rita Acosta, and I'm the voice of the people. We're just here today because they're trying to make it where we can't have a tent. Everybody knows there's not enough shelter here in Salinas, or anywhere in Monterey County for that. And we just don't think that they should be able to take our tents from us because that's all we do.
Stop the war on the poor.
And nobody asked to be homeless. You know, like I said, when we were little, nobody says, well, when we grow up, we want to be homeless. We didn't make this decision. It happens. You know, I have 5 kids, 14 grandkids. I didn't never think in my life I would end up in Chinatown. But that's where the resources are for everybody. And if they were to leave, where are they to go? You know, the city council, they could say they want everybody to roll up their tents and leave. If you can't carry it, you can't have it. Carry our stuff to where? There's no place for anybody to go. You know, I can see if they told us that we'd have 4 brand new big shelters, everybody can fit. We'll go. But where do they want us to go when there is no place to go? You know, I know I would like to have a house to sleep in, and I know everybody else right here would also. Nobody likes to be out here, and it's not easy. They say it's easy to be homeless. You're wrong. It's very hard, and it costs. It doesn't cost nothing to be homeless. It costs us a lot. Our self-respect, our dignity. You know, you can't put a price on that. You know, so don't. I think people that think that we want to live like this are ignorant, because they could come to my tent and come and stay, see how it is. It's not nice. You know, and for women, it ain't really nice, you know, but, you know, people judge us all the time, think a lot of us don't care about anything or ourselves. We're all from the Chinatown area, from Soledad Street. We do care about ourselves, and we're not all drug addicts, and we're not all drug dealers. If people would look at the real picture, they'd see the homeless there, but that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for a good story, so, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so continuing on with our press conference, we want to move quickly because we do intend to go inside the city council chambers. Am I right?
Yeah.
So our next speaker, and let me just say, add one thing. Rita Acosta, who just spoke, submitted an excellent plan to assist the existing homeless encampment in Chinatown to continue to exist, to police itself, to be a safe place. That was provided no consideration by the city. It's not even attached to any of their reports, and yet she provided the city council with that proposal 2 weeks ago. So that's an issue. We're going to make that an issue as well.
Yeah, and also in 2013, we did have a homeless community camp, a rules run tent community. We had no incidents on the site. It was nice and clean. We also were part of the Flush program. While we were co-chairman with CSUMB. We brought the first porta potty to Chinatown. As soon as we got these programs going, the city had their sweep and pushed us all out again. Well, guess who's running those programs now? Yeah, you know, the people on that block. We start them, we lose them, and they get them. You know?
Okay, so next up we're going to bring Pam Weston. Come on up, Pam. Another one of our outstanding community leaders.
All right, Pam.
Notice the winner,
Pam, go.
Hello, I've been involved with the Chinatown community. I do not live there. In my hands I have what's called the Bring Me Home Plan. It was created by the Mayor Donahue and Simone Salinas, and the county backs it. Basically, if all of you who are watching this understand what's going to happen, they want to change the health, welfare, and public safety issue. They want things to be clean. So part of this plan is an interdisciplinary collaboration. The money deals with housing first. If people would put people in houses, you wouldn't have this issue. When you're dealing with disabled, when you're dealing with veterans, when you're dealing with women and children, what we're asking now is not to put property over people. And that all you call your board of supervisors, especially, and Jane Parker and Armenta, and ask them to do what they said they're going to do with San Bernardino County and Monterey County. If you want this to go away, we should have quality of life for everyone. The city council said that quality of life is a priority. Let it start today. And when you're dealing with the ordinance, before you take tents and tarps, they should stick with what they said. Have support services. Support services don't deal with people's assistance. They deal with meeting people where they're at and deal with the trauma. So please look at ask your board of
was your name over?
My name is Pamela Weston, and I am part of the community. Myself and Charles McCall have been in the art gallery, and we know each of the different people. Van Gresham, that was a cooperative. And leaders don't have titles, they lead with relationship. And it starts with respect and dignity. Not what you say or think or what you judge, but getting to know the people. So, as you see, housing first, my home. Don't take paid attention to
All right. Okay, next up, we're going to have someone we all know has been championing this cause for many, many years. He camped out here for 7 days and 7 nights and finally won the right to a warming shelter, which apparently isn't functioning anymore. But it was this member of City Council who put his literally out there in the dead of winter with the homeless to make a point and force the city to take some action. He's still leading this fight. He's part of this community in a real sense. Introducing District 1 City Council person, Mr. Jose Castaneda.
Thank you for joining our cause. We've always known that homelessness is not a crime. As a matter of fact, the chief of police has come out and has said the same words. Yet today, this Tuesday afternoon, the city council, along with the mayor, the city attorney, and the city manager, are proposing to pass a city ordinance that says the opposite. This action is not only an attack on the most vulnerable community, the most vulnerable people in our city, but it is also unconstitutional. There is no due process in this city ordinance whatsoever. We still live in a country that we're still innocent until proven guilty. Yet we continue to criminalize the poor. This is a true poor people's movement. This is not new. It has been around since the 60s, that pushed around the civil rights movement, that pushed around the voting rights movement. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has done it many times at the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and Group. A good friend of ours, Willie Baptist in the East Coast, has lent his support to us from New York all the way to Salinas, as well as special friends that have come and visit us from Philadelphia and Oakland and so forth. We got more people in solidarity around this nation, and also international solidarity from other brothers and sisters. So Salinas claims to be an all-American city. They spent thousands of dollars to charter a bus of youth, charter a bus of some other poverty pimps that continue taking away from us, and some other folks that go with the grain and do not question whatsoever any of the process. Yet they were happy and they're content with the title. A title that only boosts the economic value and the economic status of the city. Not too long ago, this city has spent $250,000 to erect a luxury executive tent. That was for Steve Forbes, an ultra-conservative who would never be seen standing amongst people that look like us whatsoever. Yet he left here with a nice little payout. And even though he condones and says his piece in his magazine that Salinas is the second least educated city in the nation, he has no problem taking our money.
That's right.
And erecting a tent 150 yards away from Seatown, known as Chinatown. They also spent money of $4,500 for executive porta potties. These are executive portable toilets for their nice shindig venue, wine and cheese parties. And he continued to cater to these people in suits and ties. Yet everyone else that looks like us and that lives in the doorsteps, they have no problem sleeping in the tent.
That's right.
We continue to get pushed aside. Today is the day that we say no more.
No more.
longer going to get pushed around. Just as the city mayor here has taken it upon himself to serve his own interest, to push his 2-year term into a 4-year term through a consultant attorney who charges $350 an hour.
That sucks.
We're going to push for our own council representative for Chinatown as well.
That's right.
We have $20 million in Measure G money. 65% of the city population is made of youth. Yet they got to fight for peanuts every single time. We're at a homicide record already. Past 2009. And the youth of the city outside of Chuck E. Cheese and the bowling alley and Northridge Mall and the movie theater have nothing else to do in this city.
Nothing.
Poor people.
Beat each other up, hurt each other.
So
Take away from the game.
we call on everyone to be here today. Voice out your concerns, be present, and we will not leave until we get justice. And that will happen today. Thank you for
You got to fix the problem. You can't just pacify it.
All right, we're gonna get silent. We're gonna get silence up here in 1 minute. I do want to make an announcement. I think it's very important for people to not get discouraged in this fight. Now, it's very possible that the city council will ignore us tonight and either and pass this resolution, pass this ordinance. It's very possible. We should not become discouraged if that happens, right? Because the fight will continue in all of its different forms. But I will tell you one of the forms that the fight will take. I am prepared to go, if they go ahead and pass this ordinance tonight, into federal district court to get an injunction to stop it. Because this measure is unconstitutional on its face. It's misclassifying. If you have a mattress, that is your personal property. Chris Callahan can't just declare it to be a bulk item and therefore not your personal property, but that's exactly what he does in this ordinance. Not only that, as Jose said, it's not just under the law, you have a due process right for notice and an opportunity to be heard, as I was saying before. And yet, if you read that ordinance, they give you 24 hours, and then you don't get an opportunity to be heard. The law requires, and I'm telling you, even the case that they put in their paper, Mr. Callahan made a report and cited to the case of Lavon versus City of Los Angeles. That case says that if you take property from anyone, that person is entitled to a hearing before they can take that property.
Amen.
So we're here to uphold the law tonight. We're up here to uphold the genuine law and push against and see to it that this illegal, unjust, unconstitutional ordinance goes where it belongs, into the trash heap. That's what they ought to sweep, is sweep this ordinance out of here.
Sweep it up out of there. We got to fight for our rights.
Right, okay. All right, so next up, we're going to...
William.
Come on,
I'm William. Everybody knows who I am. We don't have to say a whole lot. Every step that they've taken, every move they made with this ordinance, the investigation process, the decision made that they're trying to justify is a violation of due process. It's unconstitutional.
Right.
You know, we don't get into that. You know, we're kind of like stuck on what it is they're trying to do, but there's things behind it. There's a legal implication behind it. They're violating the law.
Yes.
That's right.
You got men, women, kids involved here. I'm about something. I'm about something. I'm not just somebody you can say, oh, he don't matter, whatever. Get on out of here. You know, you're down there just using drugs or whatever. I matter. I'm a type of person just like you. You know, that sees somebody else in trouble that needs some help. You go over there and you help him. You do something.
Everybody's
Amen.
We got the power.
We help each other. And we standing up for each other right now.
There's addicts in everybody's
We believe in our cause, folks. In the 12 o'clock tonight, past 12 o'clock tonight, we believe in our cause. We stand up for what we believe, folks.
That's right.
When they had a meeting, there was a petition I filed. Thank you, Chris Callahan, for giving us the opportunity to discuss this matter. You know, I wasn't there. I was kind of like led astray, so to speak. But I know that there were people who were there who knew where I was coming from. I wasn't there. I apologize to everybody that was there and expected me to be there. But okay, I'm okay with that. You know, I believe in what I said. We want public safety, public health. That's all that. Violation of all that kind of stuff. Personal welfare is at stake. This is what we were talking about. And we're still talking about that. And we're not letting up off of that, not once. I don't have to say get up and stand up behind me. You know, stand behind each other. Stand up for yourself.
Unite.
You know? We're unified. And we're going to be the same way tomorrow we are today. Vote no. I got to go get this sign and push this sign on. Vote no on 13. Move there. Give me my sign.
I want to say something too. Veterans involved in this too. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of you. Amen. There's a lot of you, baby.
Okay, gotcha. I gotta get this written pretty quick.
We got one last speaker, and that's Bessie Taylor with her son Devontae. They've been discriminatory. There's discriminatory practices, if you did not know, still going on 2015, happening from the Housing Authority and from some other nonprofits. I want you to listen to her testimony, her story as well, because she matters along with Devontae, her son.
Me and my son were living in Moreno, California, in an apartment for 22 and a half years. All of a sudden, the owner wanted a little more money. The house authorities didn't give it to him. So right now, me and my disabled son, we living on the street. Everywhere we went, the door was slammed in our face. So nobody can help, nobody can do nothing.
Okay, next up we got Tommy. Tommy's a member of the veterans community, amongst other communities. Tommy.
I'm a vet. I got my honorable discharge out of the military. I've been homeless. I held a sign up at Nod Hill for quite a long time. A lot of people know me and have helped me. But we need to help each other. We need to be stronger with the homeless community because people are here not by choices of their own. Circumstances put people homeless. The average American is only one paycheck away from being homeless. You know, so we need to pull together and stop the bullshit, excuse my language, and just keep it 100 and help each other. That's what this country was formed on, helping each other. You know, and if you're not going to do that, get out the way and let somebody be there that wants to do that or is capable of doing that. You know, it's not all about getting money in the line in your own pockets. You know, you live in nice houses. You don't have to worry about them coming and moving your shit in the middle of the night or telling you got 24 hours to leave. We really need to look at what we're doing to the people that can't voice for themselves or can't fight for themselves. Those who have so much, why continue taking from those who have so little? That's been quoted many a time. So that's what I got to say.
Okay, well, I think we got a few minutes, but I guess the plan is we're going to go into city council, and unless we got any more people to speak, I'll say.
Yeah, let's get our position. Okay. Let's get our seat before they leave us outside in the cold. Let's get our seats and position ourselves in there. We'll start calling everybody out here as well.